Y así arranca el primer Es esto la fábrica del día de la fecha. En esta sección en donde lo que hacemos es hablar de la industria de la música, pero a nuestra manera, obviamente, de una actividad que hace un par de años nada más precisaba de barcos, de containers, de cosas que lleven cosas de un lado al otro del planeta Tierra para que vos en tu casa te puedas sentar y escuchar, no sé, en ese momento el nuevo disco de Janis Joplin. O sea, por tirar uno, ponele. Tenía que pasar un montón de cosas en el medio, pero ¿qué pasó? Hace un puñadito de años nada más cambió todo, y digo puñadito de años porque si pensamos un poco desde que se empieza a grabar la música, desde que se empieza a distribuir, todo muy rápidamente cambió. Con la aparición de las comunicaciones, apareció internet, aparecieron las tiendas digitales, apareció la piratería, explotó para todos lados, y ahora Raúl hace una canción en su casa, la sube a internet y a los 5 minutos estamos escuchando lo nuevo de alguna banda. 5 bandas, dice Raúl. Está bien. Y de esa manera todo ha cambiado, ha revolucionado. ¿Eso qué quiere decir? ¿Que se democratizó la cosa? ¿Qué quiere decir? ¿Que mejoró? No sé, para hablar de todas estas vicisitudes siempre nos nutrimos de diferentes diálogos. Hemos hablado con productores musicales, hemos hablado con un montón de sonidistas y de gente que rodea la industria, y con músicos, muchos músicos, como es el caso del día de la fecha, donde nos vamos para Alemania para hablar con la amiga MIKA HARY, que ya está conectada. Hi Mika, my name is Manu, there is Raulo, are you listening me good?
Yes, hi.
Excellent. We are checking sound. We are excellent. Okay, I'm gonna leave you with my friend Raulo. He's gonna make the same question he makes every program to all artists and blah blah blah. And later we're gonna talk about the present of the MIKA HARY project. Okay?
Sounds good.
Excellent. Excellent, Raulo. Todo tuyo, Raulo.
Dale, perfecto. Mika, thanks for your time. We are live. We are going to start with the interview. So please tell us your full name, where are you from, and how old are you?
My name is MIKA HARY. That's my full name. That's my artist name. And I am 40 years old. I'm still getting used to that number. And I live in Berlin.
Okay, perfect. And do you want to say how old are you or not?
I said I'm 40 years old and I'm getting used to the number.
I'm thinking about, okay, we are over 40. It's okay, it happens. Perdón, Manu. See, I'm going to make
I said it kind of not with confidence, but I said it.
It's okay. See, and can you tell us which is your first memory of you listening to music?
Yes, I actually have a strong memory of this. And it's funny because, I just put out like an analog record, and my first memory of listening to music is actually listen to a real record. When I grew up, like I said, I'm 40, so I grew up in the late 80s. And we had a record player at home, and my parents got me the records of like classical music for kids, and so I would listen to like Mozart and Beethoven.
Ooh.
Like yeah. Wow. And I grew up in Israel also, so it was also traditional Israeli music that I had on record. So yeah, I can really. There was this like a nice chair in our living room with the headphones and the record, and I can really see myself as a little kid with the headphones, like sitting like this and really enjoying the music and listening to it. So that's it, like traditional Israeli music and classical music. Those are my first influences for
Beautiful.
Sure.
And can you tell us which was your first instrument and which was the first song that you learned?
The first instrument was the piano. Mm-hmm. At 6 years old, I begged at 5 years old, I begged my parents for a piano. I was like, I want to play the piano. There's still this. They tell this story very, very vividly of how I wouldn't stop talking about how I want to play the piano. And then on my 6th birthday, we lived in this. Our house had a little like road leading down to it actually, and there was a truck there, and there came a truck, and I didn't know what's in it, and then suddenly out of it came a piano. So.
Wow.
So for my 6th birthday, I got a piano, and I kind of never stopped playing it since.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
And which was the first song that you learned?
I don't remember that.
It's okay. It's a tricky question. We always made it to the people, and someone knows.
And some people remember.
Sí. You know the guitar players. the heavy metal guitar player. Manu is a guitar player, so they always remember that. See, and can you tell us?
Stairways to Heaven, always the same song.
See, or
for guitar player.
no, Smoke on the Water, so that kind of things, you know. See.
Yeah.
And can you tell us, are there any places to study music for free, or you have to pay?
You mean in Berlin, where I'm now?
As you like, in Israel when you were young, or in Berlin, as you like.
Places for free. I don't know. I mean, Berlin has a lot of music, like things that are happening for free, but I don't know about like really learning an instrument. I mean, you can be exposed to a lot of concerts for adults and for kids. Like, I'm trying to think of myself as a child also. Yeah, so Berlin has a lot of culture for free, for sure, but I don't know about learning an instrument. That's already something I can't think of something like that.
Perfect. And can you remember which was the first concert that you went?
So I told you already about classical music that my parents exposed me to, and definitely I also have strong memories of my parents taking me to orchestral.
Wow.
Totally orchestral concerts but explained for kids.
Beautiful.
So we had this like season ticket for this series of concerts. Ooh. And I loved it. I actually loved it.
And you think that that kind of music impacts in your childhood? Because I'm a heavy metal player, you know. When I was young, you have a black T-shirt, I have a black T-shirt. We are friends, you know. And with classical music, what do you think?
Well, I'm not in the classical world anymore, but is your question, you're talking about me as a kid?
As you like. See, in your youth.
I think I look, my parents, like I said, are still a lot into classical music. They're totally classical music fans. And that's why I was exposed to it and I grew up with it. But very quickly, I looked for a way out of it, to be honest. And I played the piano, but at some point my teacher found out that I couldn't really read notes, and I was kind of leading him on, thinking that I'm reading the notes, but I was actually playing from my ear training. Really, I was playing by ear.
Wow.
And like I kind of tricked him. It took him like 2 years to understand that I can't really read. It's true. It's a true story. And I kind of didn't really. I felt a little bit confined in the classical music world, so I was looking for something that kind of matched my spirit a little bit more, and then at some point I found jazz music, and that's where I felt at home. So that's my answer again.
Perfect. Something similar, Manu, corregime si estoy mal. Something similar, you know Charlie Garcia from Buenos Aires, the piano player, Charlie Garcia.
Yeah.
Bueno, he makes something like that because he was a concert player when he was really young, and he plays the Beatles songs in the middle of the concerts. And nobody suspects of that kind of things. It's something similar of the impact that have some kind of music in the childhood. And when and why did you decide to start a solo music career?
So basically, I never made at one point, like one decision. It was really from that. Remember I told you like at 5, I told my parents I want to play the piano. It pretty much stayed like that. It pretty much was no, I'm not even totally kidding. Like it was kind of like that. I mean, one thing led to another. I was very excited about music. I never really, I liked other things, but nothing was as passionate for me ever as music. And it was clear to me that like I went to music, to high school. And then at high school, it was like everybody was talking about how we're going to go study in New York. It was like the thing to do. For me, it was like a straight line. It was okay. I'm finished. I'm going to finish here. I'm going to go to New York and I'm going to study jazz. I mean, there was no even. It didn't feel like a choice, a hard choice. It was clear, you know.
Nice, beautiful. Sí, Manu, ¿alguna pregunta? Seguimos, continuamos. Sí,
espectacular. No, me gustaría saber cómo llegó al jazz.
Sí,
porque todavía no llegamos a eso.
Sí, and Manu wants to know, the thin line between playing classical music and the jazz. How did you meet jazz music?
How did I find it out? How did I find out about it? That's an interesting story. You know what happened is that when I was, I think 12 or when I was 12 or 11, I got a gift from my grandma. It was a CD. It's nice. You're bringing me back all these memories. It was a CD with this very famous Israeli singer that I love to this day. He was singing Israeli songs with jazz arrangements.
Wow.
And I didn't know that it was jazz. I didn't realize, I didn't know the style. I was like, oh, that's cool. I like that. I want to, like, what is he singing there? Or he was also singing jazz standards translated into Hebrew, you know? Really cool genre, like really, you know, I kind of like it. So, and then it took me some years to kind of put one and one together and realize that what he was doing was that.
Beautiful.
It was jazz. And then I found out, maybe it was earlier than 12 actually, because I was already it was probably earlier. But anyway, that's how I don't remember exactly, but that's how I found out about it. And then I through music conservatory, I started realizing that that's why I liked it. It was jazz, really.
Wow.
And
Beautiful experience.
then I started looking for real jazz singers. Like then I started listening to Ella Fitzgerald, and I was like, oh, that's great, you know. Yeah.
That is the door for.
That's what I like.
Beautiful. See, in November of 2017, you released your first EP, When Morning Comes. How was the recording process of that first EP?
So it was later a full record. Mm-hmm. It started as an EP and then it was a full record, and the recording process was it was amazing and very, very it was a peak. The recording of this album was a peak or a peak and an ending, because it came right at the ending of my time in New York, really. So it was all very, very much organically created with the people that are on this record are people that I played so many shows with in New York and all around the US, playing my music, and it felt it felt very organic, like a straight line. And towards the time, and I was ready to leave New York at the time, but I still wanted to make sure that I get this record with these people.
Wow.
And so I collected this group of really amazing musicians that were, again, like also very good friends of mine and a part of my. What I'm trying to say here, that it's not like I hired these people and I said, let's do this record together. These are people that have gone through a long path with me, like a journey together, and the recording process, which was incredible, in an incredible studio in New York, the really, really old timer, like a milestone New York studio recording, recording studio, and but it was really incredible to get all these amazing musicians together to kind of, like I said, it was a peak of this musical journey that I had in New York. Yeah, sorry.
No, it's okay. I want to know, it was the first time that you listened to yourself recorded. How do you feel the first time that you listened to yourself?
No, it wasn't the first time. It was I already had it.
Yeah, and in the first time, how do you feel about that?
The first time was a long time before that, because when I came to record this record, I was already in the doing this for a while. Like I've recorded for other people. I came with like more experience than just, it wasn't very, but it wasn't this. It still was a little bit of an old timer kind of experience, because I mean old fashioned kind of way, because it wasn't like. At that time, people started making records in their bedroom. Is that what I'm trying to say? When I recorded the studio in this like big, incredible studio in New York, people were already recording records in their bedroom, and it became a thing. But this was different. So if you're asking about how it felt to record in a real recording studio, it was an incredible experience. And in this kind of studio, I never recorded before.
Perfect.
So.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. See, in November of last year, you released your last album. Sorry, my accent, Deus face is, sorry. And you changed many things in the recording process. What happened with that?
So that's also an interesting thing, because like I said, I kind of was always an old-fashioned girl, to be honest, because I was this, young girl growing up in Israel who's drawn to jazz. and then we just were talking about the first record, who was also not done in a way that's like how many people make music nowadays. And then in Berlin, I met Guy Sternberg, who's the head of Low Swing Records, and he introduced this whole world of analog recording to me. So it's like I'm going backwards in time. So first, like in recording method or something, because I started with this beautiful studio in New York with my first record, which was still a traditional style recording, but digital. And then I go to Berlin and I meet this whole scene of record making, that people actually make, that this label that I recorded the record with actually does make records and does record everything live to tape, which is crazy. I mean, and I fell in love with it. I fell in love with the concept, and I fell in love with the guy's professional attitude and musical attitude. And it was a totally different experience, even though, like I said, even though I'm anyway like an old-fashioned girl, but this was even going deeper into, because I'll tell you what, because I told you that people started making music in their bedroom, and there was a time before that, after my first record with BMG, the When Morning Comes, that record, after it came out, I did have a period where I started kind of thinking, because it took a long time between the first record and the second, and I did have a time where I started thinking I wanted to do some more electronic stuff. I started experimenting things, but then I realized that I'm like going back to the roots, and I'm actually back to jazz, and I'm back to, and even going back down, not down, but like more in depth into analog recording. And I'm actually really happy about that. I feel that's more honest to my message and to my spirit.
Espectacular.
Muy bueno.
Sí, tremendo.
¿Trabaja sola ella o tiene un equipo?
Sí, man wants to know, you work alone or you have a group of people?
I'm a solo artist, but I have a band that again, like I told you about the people in New York that I was working with, and I totally have that thing in Berlin as well. I have a group of very close friends that I'm, proud to have in my band with. Because they're both incredible musicians and also really good friends of mine, which I think is the best combination to make music.
And
they're all on the record, and they play live with me as well.
Maybe Sharon Herman is one of that people or not?
Who?
Sharon Herman.
No.
Okay, sorry for that.
No, it's okay. I don't know this person.
We have a lot of people, listening, and we have the chance to meet a lot of people in the industry and in the underground music. So that is why we make some questions. Thanks for
That's
this.
Fine.
And sorry, the question, but do you think that sadness still inspires art, or it became something aesthetic?
Do I think that sadness inspires art?
Why? Because you say I'm lower. It isn't lower. I think that it's something that comes out of you, And what do you think about that?
I think yes. The answer is yes. It inspires art, but to be honest, and I think also the world is unfortunately very sad. So, especially right now, I think, but it's a sad place. So I think it's easy to kind of be influenced from that, at least for me, So yes, I think it influences art, but I do, almost in a non-subconscious way. So in a conscious way, I do try to also make happy music, to be honest. Because I think the world needs that, and I need that for myself. So that's something that I'm really, really aspiring to. I have to work on myself and be like, okay, let's write a happy song right now.
Excellent. See, because because the next question is, do you have any composition process?
I do, but it's not always the same. But I can describe to you the most common thing that I have happening, and that is that I would be at the piano and I have this idea of music and lyrics together. It's like the first line would probably be together, and then something like continues on its own. And then we're like, oh, this is like a story about blah blah blah, and then I would write like some lyrics, and then I would go back to the piano and compose the rest. Or the music would be first, and I would be like, oh, this chord could go nicely here, and then so it's really the first part really always comes, not always, but many times comes together, and then I kind of break it apart and then pull it back apart and put it back together again.
Excellent. You're very honest. Thanks for the answers.
It's
Perfect. Perfect. How do you produce your visual parts, the photos and that kind of things?
I always collaborate on this part, so I don't make them on my own. I always for this last record, I have there's a beautiful photographer who came to the recording studio, Kata, and she works with low swing always, but I knew her beforehand, and I really love her photos. And we had this very clear concept for the album cover. Guy and myself had this like guy like I said, the low swing head had this concept for the visual part before the record, and then Kata came in and made it happen. So it's always something that I collaborate with, and I sometimes have like a very clear vision myself, and sometimes I really like collaborations, to be honest. So I really like to, I'm not like the kind of artist who is like, this is how we do it and you're all gonna like, come and make my vision come true. Not at all. I like to get ideas from other people, and I feel like it helps me get better ideas as well, because it's also, and I'm also good at collaborating, and even in songwriting. A lot of the songs that I wrote are collaborations, and I find this very, very fruitful because songwriting can be a very lonesome process, to be honest. You agree?
Yes.
So it's really nice to be with other people in the room, and then if you feel stuck, then someone else isn't stuck, and they start something, and then you react to it, and then it makes songwriting so much easier.
It was one of the questions that we make when we start with this live show, if the composers knows when the song ends, and it never ends. A lot of people say never. Manu, si te parece, tres preguntas más, si tenés alguna por ahí.
Okay. If a weird question, but in jazz music, you have to develop like an artistic identity, because there are a lot of standard jazz has been sung hundreds of times, and each singer has to make their own style. You have an excellent style in your song, your melody, blah blah blah. Is it something you can learn, or is it something that comes naturally, the way you sing jazz?
Wow.
Well, that's the thing, is that well, to be honest, because I wasn't sure about the answer to your question, I was like, I'm just gonna write my own songs, and then I have my identity. Because to be very honest with you, when I sang jazz standards, I never felt that it clicked and that I had something meaningful to say. So I love the songs, I love the music, I love listening to it, but when I sing it myself, I'm not feeling 100% like I have something to contribute to the style. I love it, I love listening to it, but who am I to add to this thing? But when I write my songs, I feel that I have a story to tell.
But no, it's completely crazy what you first said. First came the music and then my identity. Es una música. You're a musician. It's incredible what you are saying. Thanks for that. Three more questions. Can you tell us something about what do you think about artificial intelligence?
Well, I think that Look, I think that I don't use AI to write songs. I use it for many other things in my everyday life, so I'm not against it. And I think as long as people know how to manipulate it, then great. I have nothing against it. We are smart enough to have invented it, and I don't think it necessarily kills art if we use it the right way.
Excellent. Sí. It's nice to listen the opinions. There are a lot of opinions of this subject. It's incredible. Thanks for that. Can you tell us something about your future plans?
Sure. Yeah, I'm just working on booking like more shows with this record. So I'm planning to do as many shows as possible with this music of this record, and I'm very excited about that because I haven't played live before the record came out. I was on a little break, and now I'm back, and I'm very excited about finally having more shows. And I think that's it for now. Actually, no, that's not true. The record that came out has not been released on digitally at all yet. So I am planning on releasing 2 songs. Only 2 songs out of the record will come out also digitally, so people can kind of get a little taste, and then buy the record still. That's the idea.
Excellent. It's been beautiful to speak with you, Mika. Thanks for your time. Just to finish the interview, we are going to play What Was It? I think that we 3 are thinking of things, no? Now this interview makes us thinking. See, but we have to finish. Can you tell us what the song What Was It means to you? What it represents to you?
Well, you were asking me about sad songs or about sadness, and I think in this song, I was successful in writing a non-sad song.
Perfect.
And it was deliberate also. I mean, it wasn't deliberate. It came from a real moment of inspiration, of a conversation that happened, a real conversation that happened. By the way, this is a very often an inspirational thing for me, conversations with people. That I end up writing a song about, but this was really a conversation that happened in real life. And then I was like, oh, that's a great, like the conversation was about what really was the conversation. What was it about? It was, well, to be honest, it wasn't my partner that asked me the question. I made it then sound later like he's asking me, but it was someone else who was sitting with us and was kind of interviewing us and asking what do you mean love at first sight? Like how, because this is a true story about me and my husband. And he was asking me what we were telling him how we met. And he was like, what is love at first sight? What do you mean? Like, what was this thing that like made you feel, oh, this is the person that I want to meet and I want to. And then it made me think. His question was like, what was that thing that actually made me so drawn to this person? And that led to the song.
Beautiful. Perfect. Thanks for your time, Mika. We are going to send you the interview when the live show ends, and thanks for your time, and we keep in touch, okay?
Thank you so much, guys. You're great.
Bye, Mika.
Bye. Thank you.
Raúl, todo tuyo.
Bye.
Can you remember the day, the moment our eyes first met? He asked at the crowded restaurant. Can you tell me exactly, if I may ask, what was it? What made you fall the moment our eyes first met? It was your eyes that wore a special glow. They promised you would never let me go. I asked you how the hell you even know. You smiled like it's been decided long ago. It was the weight of your hand, the way you walked the room, enlightening everyone around. I could tell by the way you danced without fear, I would be yours if you just asked. That's when I fell